Hi, welcome back to World of the Psychic.
Together we shall cast ourselves into the future.
Seen any aliens lately?
This is a part of America we never get to see.
Are you by chance referring to the legend of the Loch Ness Monster?
A ball of twine that weighs 19,000 pounds.
What is this, nerd porn?
It is about the Templar treasure, but it's also about other things, conspiracy theories, urban legends, and other myths that are true.
You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the
Travel
Oddities
Podcast. Welcome back.
I don't think it's a welcome back point.
It's not really.
Okay, so before we get started in the news today, how was your weekend, sir?
It was good. I feel like that's a loaded question. No, happy Father's Day.
Belated, yes, you as well.
Happy belated Father's Days to all of our dads out there.
If you have more than one, then okay.
If you've got two dads. If your dad was your dad and now he's your mom. Happy transgender.
I don't think... No, I think you give up that right.
Why?
If you're a woman and you want to be treated as a woman, you don't get to celebrate Father's Day anymore. You could switch to Mother's Day and fight that out with them.
Okay, true.
And I'm more than willing to accept the mothers who switched to fathers on Father's Day.
If you're transgender and you've got the balls, dare I say balls, to stand next to me and pee in the bathroom, high five, bro, or dudette. Whatever floats your boat.
Whatever you want us to call you. We're cool with that.
You know, it's not the size of the hammer, right? Wait, that really doesn't... That's probably not a good way to describe transgender people.
No, I'm going to say no. Let's not. So, did you have any happenings over the weekend?
No, I did not. I basically lived vicariously through the people that have children that care. No. I think Father's Day is great, but I really think it's a holiday for kids. Now I know adults that celebrate. I already know I'm the father of the year. I don't need a pack of underwear. I don't need to be reminded by my kid's mom
that child support's late.
Right, that child support's late. I did post on Facebook. I did post Happy Father's Day. Well, it takes anybody can be a dad, but it takes a real man to make a conscientious effort to not wear a condom.
All right.
So, to all you dads out there, happy belated Father's Day.
So let's get into Nevada's
Cursed Pyramid Lake.
Yeah. So the waters of Nevada's Pyramid Lake get their name from the rocky pyramid formations jutting out of the waterline, but this is not the coolest part of this lake. Okay, so it's in the desert up against tranquil mountains. Pyramid Lake lies nestled within the Truckee River Basin located in the southeastern Washoe County, around 40 miles from the city of Reno.
Okay.
It's an ancient lake. It's a remnant of Lake Lahontan, a vast body of water which once covered most of northwestern Nevada during the last ice age, which is, again, one of those super cool, just weird facts.
Yeah.
The lake is well known for its crystal clear waters, pristine beauty, and picturesque vistas, as well as being a sanctuary for vast amounts of birds, including geese, pelicans, gulls, owls, and duck sand, as well as home to numerous endangered species of fish. And some scary-ass curses.
Really?
Yes. So the lake has been home to the Paiute tribes for eons. And that's really where this whole thing starts off.
Okay.
The Paiute of Pyramid Lake were known as the Kwi-wi-Takuta.
Can I say I'm very proud of you this week? You've really been trying to enunciate. It's like maybe you don't like Mexicans. Last week the Spanish was a little raw.
I agree, and I genuinely feel bad about that.
Do you really?
I really do. I feel like I don't want our listeners to feel like I didn't care enough. So I really did feel bad when I went back and looked or listened to what we had done.
Don't feel bad.
I felt like I was a half-hearted attempt. And it really wasn't, but I should have taken the time.
It's not. You're racist. You can't help it.
Okay, so the Quiwi-Takuta means the Quiwi eaters, which is, I'm sorry, that's the word.
Okay.
It refers to a type of fish that lived in the lake. The tribe eked out a living in the harsh desert environment by catching this fish, as well as gathering the sparse food resources from the desert: grasshoppers, rodents, deer, rabbit, berries, roots.
But the one thing about the Paiute Indians was, when you think of a Plains Indian, they weren't really the best. They weren't the best hunters. They weren't great with the bow and arrow. I mean, when you say they eked out, they really did. I mean, they didn't wear a lot of skins because there wasn't a lot of larger game like deer and things like that to hunt. So they were, in terms of your plains, your desert dwellers, they were the more primitive of some of the inhabitants in the area. Or no?
No, well, I can see that argument, but I tend to look at it a little bit differently. From my perspective, the Paiute Indians that lived in this area did an amazing job of just living there.
Right. I mean,
you're talking incredibly harsh environment, and they lived in harmony in this place.
Right, and every element was utilized to its utmost potential. I mean, but in terms of, you think 100 miles this way, there's the Apache Indians who had, pelts and had clothing and things like that. What I meant was, in terms of being more primitive, they just didn't have a lot of the resources, the resources and creature comforts that some of the tribes that were maybe farther west would have had. So.
And the word eked in this, eked out in existence, even that I'm not 100% behind. I feel like they took full advantage of what was there and they maximized what was there, and they lived in harmony in that area, which, even a small group of humans can throw things off kilter real quick.
Right.
So the fact that they did this for hundreds of years, living in this area with the dramatic fluctuations in temperature, rainfall, game from year to year, I think it's amazing.
Well, and they also practiced what was called pua, which is basically, it's a Paiute word that means power. Their belief was that everything in the universe had a life force to it, and it kind of lends a little bit to what you were saying about how they kind of lived in harmony with the earth and everything within their existence. So I think you don't hear a lot about them.
Okay, so this particular tribe lived in peaceful seclusion for centuries before the lake was discovered and mapped by the American explorer John C. Fremont in 1844.
Your white man comes.
I mean, this guy sounds like a real D-bag just for putting the place on the map. So anyway, European settlers trickling in from the east looking for new life stumbled upon this place. The new settlement in the area of the white men had disastrous consequences on the Paiute. The miners chopped down the pinyon trees, which was a major food source for the natives, as well as natural cover. A shady place to stand in the desert's probably a valuable thing. The cattle ranchers caused destruction of the already sparse vegetation with their herds, and they were also competing with the Paiute for the grazing land as well. So the Paiute had actively fed the wild animals.
Right.
Well, didn't feed them, but the wild animals in the area fed on the vegetation, which allowed them to have something to hunt.
Right. Yes, that circle of life.
Right.
Scenario. Yes.
So the Paiute people at first tried to live in harmony with the new white settlers, traded with them. Most of the tribe didn't appreciate the disruption to their way of life. and resented the presence of the settlers on their ancestral lands.
But everybody likes blankets.
Don't.
I'm not. But think about it for a second. You have to survive. You have to try to coexist with these people. You have to coalesce and come to some type of agreement. So, yes, you're going to take a blanket. Yes, you're going to trade a rabbit. I mean, it's just the way it was.
Yeah. Okay, so the Paiute eventually got sick of this BS. They started raiding parties and indiscriminately murdered settlers on their land. These raids, they graduated over time into full skirmishes. This all culminated in the Paiute War, or it was also known as the Pyramid Lake War, which occurred in 1860. That's only 16 years from the time that the white people found this place.
Right.
16 years. So that occurred in 1860 around Pyramid Lake and consisted of 2 violent engagements that killed around 80 settlers and an unknown number of Paiute. So the violence continued sporadically on both sides until August of that year when they had a ceasefire. So, so these bloody battles kind of are the beginnings of some of the, at least one version of the cursed Pyramid Lake curse.
Well, didn't some of the settlers kidnap a couple of the Paiute women? And
there's a whole lot of gory back. I mean, you could, again, like I said before we started the show, we could go down a rabbit hole on this and talk for the next 10 hours.
Right.
If you're really into American history and
I love American history.
Oddities, I highly recommend looking into this area. There's a lot of information. We're just going to touch on the surface.
The surface of it.
Sorry. I mean, there's not enough hours.
We're just going to talk about the mermaid. I mean, what was that? Did I say mermaids? I'm sorry. I did say mermaids. In the desert.
All right. So, there is a version of the curse or the story that says it was once tradition among the Paiute tribe to throw the bodies of malformed or otherwise undesirable babies into the waters of Pyramid Lake.
Wow.
Supposedly, this was done in order to maintain only the strong among the tribe. Sounds a lot like Sparta.
I would probably be at the bottom of the lake.
You know, I don't see a lot of that historically with Native Americans, so...
How do you determine, though? That's the thing. What's the checklist? What are we looking for here for the superior warrior?
Washboard abs. Like, I don't know how big a baby's arm is. Not right, like off the top of my head, but I'm thinking...
China would just thin the female herd and kill the female babies. So what do we do here? I mean, okay, for every we'll take 6 girls and 12 well-adjusted infants, and then the rest of them go into the Pyramid Lake. and then you're polluting your water source with baby bodies.
Well, I mean, I think maybe the fish would eat that. It's not one of the stories that I personally don't see that it holds a lot of merit, but I've been wrong about things before.
What happened to pro-life? Pro-life is for the entire life, right?
Yes.
Anyway, so...
Okay, so...
I would be at the bottom of the lake.
The Paiute have a similar and a lot less savage version of this tale, which is kind of the direction that I lean.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a little out there.
Okay.
So the version of this story tells of a tribesman who fell in love with a mermaid who lived in Pyramid Lake.
So now we're saying that mermaids are freshwater as well. This one.
We're not sure.
Okay. Continue. I'm ready for this one.
Okay, so when he brought her back to the tribe, they rejected her. They shunned her.
What was it? Is it because she shit out of her stomach? Was that the part that was so hard?
I mean, fish scales,
She smelt like tuna.
maybe.
You know, clean that thing.
Okay, so she, at this point in time, angrily returned to Pyramid Lake, placing a curse on it and vowing revenge on anyone who got too close to the lake shore. So shortly after that, she sent a serpent out of the lake, which ate a baby and then took the baby's form. When the child's mother came back to feed her baby, the serpent attacked her. Now, there was a little interaction between the serpent and the mermaid and the local medicine man. The medicine man allowed the serpent to remain in the lake and the mermaid as long as it let the mother live.
Okay, you're missing the part here where, so this baby, I'm assuming, was probably suckling upon its mother's teat. First of all, why are you letting your baby be close to the water?
I don't know that it necessarily was. It's a serpent. They can move around.
Where was the Paiute child welfare? You know, there's just too much. I'm hearing every week there's a story about a kid being attacked by a gorilla, eaten by a serpent, assuming the form of the baby. So was the baby breastfeeding and then
Just clamped down?
just like nipple clamped on her?
Well, it's a possibility. Okay, so now apparently either you take the Paiute story that the mermaid and the serpent and the baby serpent baby,
Damien. Mm-hmm.
or the other version of the story, the babies thrown into the lake because they weren't fit. Either story. But these water babies now allegedly haunt the lake, and visitors claim to hear cries and wails as they get close to the lake shore.
That I could get behind.
Now, it doesn't matter which version you go for here. There's some weird ass shit happening at this lake.
Now, is this I mean, we'll get to it, obviously, but is this a lake you can just drive up to?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You can drive right up to it. And that is kind of the point, actually. The point of the curse. So no matter which version of the water baby myth you subscribe to, supposedly each year, a few fishermen are lost on the waters of the 350-foot deep lake.
Really?
Yes. And
Just kidding. I was messing with you.
to the beauty of this lake, it's actually used as the screensaver image on a lot of default settings.
Really?
Yes, for like iPads, tablets. that
Dell
sort of thing.
computers?
I don't know if it's a Dell thing or not. So, this curse, the phenomenon, is said to be particularly prominent in the spring, and there is a huge surge in the number of mysterious events in that time frame. So, in addition to freak boating accidents, missing equipment, technical trouble, there are a lot more sinister stories that involve drownings and disappearances.
Mm-hmm.
Locals claim that every spring, at least one fisherman vanishes without a trace on Pyramid Lake.
Really?
One a year.
Why do they call it Pyramid Lake?
The way that it looks.
Okay.
The calcium structures look like pyramids. I mean, kind of.
Okay.
Close.
Gotcha.
Swimmers and scuba divers have also mysteriously drowned in the lake. Again, mostly in the spring. Bodies are never found. Or if they are found. It's weird. There's another lake close to it.
Mm-hmm.
People will disappear in this lake.
And appear in the other?
And wind up drowned in the other.
How do they know that for sure? How do they know that that's what happened?
Well, I don't know anything's for sure, but you know, if you went to the cursed Pyramid Lake,
right,
with your buddies, and then you wind up drown in another lake after you disappeared in the first lake, something weird's going on.
The mermaid did it.
The mermaid did it.
The mermaid did it.
All right. Okay, so
what?
No, that's fine.
That's fine. You're like, that's fine. Believe that.
Well, it's the mermaid or the snake or the
snake baby,
the devil babies. The Paiute curse? I don't know.
You're a Freemason. Tell me about it.
Tell you about the curse?
Tell me about the curse. The curse of the 33rd degree black belt.
So, as far as the story goes,
Right.
that's the basis for the story.
Okay. And then it just goes wacky from there.
Well, no, there are just a whole lot of stories, specifics. This is my tale of the fishing expedition.
Well, you know what else grows in the deserts of Nevada and Arizona and New Mexico, right? Peyote cactus.
So you're saying this is okay? I'll tell you what. We're there.
Are we there?
We're there.
Okay.
We'll get into the skeptical view.
Okay.
Just so you know, I looked hard for some skeptical.
A slither, even. Did you even find a sliver of
Nothing.
Really?
So, skeptics.
Just stay away from it.
Only you, Brett.
Oh, okay. Something tells me that's wrong.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Did you try to look?
I looked forever.
Are people just afraid to touch this one?
I don't know if people are afraid to touch it or if it's a small enough phenomenon that it hadn't hit.
Every time you say phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Do, 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 do. Phenomena. Do, 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 do.
So-
Phenomena. No, I got to finish it. Phenomena. Do, 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 do. Phenomena. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, phenomenon.
So, Brett, you hit me with your.
Okay, but okay, right off the bat,
Okay, let's hear it.
mermaids in the desert doesn't fit. It does not fit to me the archetype myth, the mythos of a mermaid.
All right.
Mermaids are supposed to be like enchantresses of the sea, sirens even.
Continue, please.
Am I right?
Dude.
That lure ships and their crews into peril, seduce captains and just like that. Not necessarily an Indian or Native American thing.
Okay.
When I think of Native American, and I'm not saying it's not a true Paiute legend. Look at your Wikipediaing mermaid to prove me wrong.
Dude, I just want to have a little bit of
Backbone?
a scaly backbone.
Okay, all right. Wiki me.
I'm looking. I'm
Edward
looking to
Snowden.
see
WikiLeaks me.
if there are any mermaids that. Oh, here's the very first one.
Okay.
Serena is an order of the aquatic mammals that inhabits rivers,
Okay.
coastal marine water.
So perhaps I need to do more research.
Wetlands. Yeah,
Perhaps I need to research mermaids more.
maybe. So what else do you have? Come on, hit me with some.
Well, here's the thing. My fondest legend of a mermaid. It was a mermaid
Splash.
named, well, yes, a mermaid named Daryl Hannah that lived in a bathtub. Mm-hmm. Dude, I wanted so bad for that to be real. She was hot as that mermaid. You know they're remaking Splash.
I hope for all of the.
I don't want them to.
I hope for all of the 13-year-old boys that are around now that they fulfill the fantasy of every 13-year-old boy from the original and do a little nip slip.
Okay, let me ask you this. Maddie, does she watch, there's like a mermaid thing
Dude,
that's like
did you
huge.
really just go there?
There's a mermaid show on Netflix that's from Australia.
Okay.
Does she watch it?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
Okay. Pay attention to your kids. Just because it's a day after Father's Day doesn't mean you have to stop
All right.
paying attention. But anyway, no, it's just my thing is the hardest. I think the thing that doesn't quell my thirst for this legend is the mermaid thing. I mean, I could see the tossing the babies into the, it's the old don't toss the baby out with the bathwater.
Okay.
But they did literally toss the baby out with the bathwater.
So you're of the opinion if
I'm going with either one, I'm going to go with they tossed the babies into the the lake.
It's racist, dude.
But who wrote this? Who wrote these legends?
Well, I don't know. Let's ask the Paiute who wrote their history.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they don't have internet.
Do you have them on speed dial?
No, they're
Okay.
probably not on Facebook either.
I think they are.
They're not.
Do you want me to? I can check that too.
Paiute / what? Mermaid lovers at Facebook.
No, I'm just saying the Paiute probably has a Facebook presence.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Anyway, nothing against Native Americans. I'm Native American, for crying out loud. I understand the legends of the shapeshifters, of the deer people, things like that. Mm-hmm. This one's just a little bit harder for me to swallow, that's all. I'm not calling bullshit on it. A legend is a legend. If it's something that lived on into today, like people were still claiming to see mermaids and things. I mean, can we explain how these men disappear? No. Can we explain how they end up from one place to the other? Interdimensional travel.
Or mermaids. Underground rivers.
Okay, like an underground railroad, but for mermaids? Mm-hmm. Underground rivers in a lake?
Connecting a couple of lakes? I can see it, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go with that.
Okay. So, I mean, I love a good legend. I love history. You know, my ears kind of perk up a little bit when we talk about Western history. I love it.
Okay, so...
Natural history is my jam.
We have, in the past,
Yes.
touched on your completely irrational fear
Of water.
of anything remotely resembling water.
Right.
Like, you won't even drink water.
Barely.
Okay. So, would you, Brett, swim in this lake?
No.
Would you ride in a boat with your feet dangling out?
Probably.
Would you?
Yeah.
In the dark?
No. Not a chance, bro.
I'm glad you're so honest.
Not a freaking chance, bro. It's not happening. I can't explain this irrational fear.
I love the fact that you just skip the whole bravado thing and you're like, yeah, I would touch no, I'm not doing it at night.
Listen, I think the basis for my fear is it's not grounded in fiction. I nearly died. When I was in the kayak going towards those people in the raft with the trees where it had that undercurrent that went underneath, and my raft flipped over and I was stuck underneath it as the current is trying to pull and I'm pushed underwater, I could have drowned.
Okay. As a child, did you ever have like a near-death water event? I'm just wondering
Where this started.
Right, because it didn't start on the river trip.
Turner Falls.
When you were a kid?
When I was a kid. Going down the slides didn't know how to swim and went off into the water and remember panicking and just trying to paddle for dear life to get to the top and like just doggy paddle my ass off to the edge. I can't swim. I mean, I do not know how to swim.
Interesting.
So
I as well had a incident when I was young with water where I went under and blacked out and woke up a significant distance from where I started, like hanging onto a log. And like everybody there thought that I had drowned and, got washed down the river.
And just gave up on you.
Well, I mean, they didn't give up on me, but...
Your mom was like, yeah, finally. But the Lord did what a coat hanger couldn't.
It's messed up. My point was...
I understand.
I almost drowned when I was a kid, and I can walk in ankle-deep water without screeching like a little girl.
Well, it's not ankle-deep water that I'm concerned with. It's being trapped under something and not having any orientation. When my glasses come off, I can't see, so I can't tell top from bottom.
Gravity.
Dude, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Even if I'm wearing a life jacket and I float to the caps to where the boat is capsized and I can't get out from underneath it, my face is still in the water. I mean, there's no...
All right. Okay.
You still...
Dude, no.
5 years later, we're still having this conversation.
I don't think it was 5 years, but...
4 years later, we're still having this conversation. Anyway.
I think we need to
liven this up.
We need to arm ourselves.
We do.
Be warned. It is my job to arm you against the foulest creatures known to wizard kind. You may find yourselves facing your worst fears in this room. Know only that no harm can befall you whilst I am here. I must ask you not to scream.
Life jacket. That's my defense against the dark arts.
Okay, so the curse, I didn't really address.
You didn't. You kind of...
No, I'm saying...
You're scared.
No, the curse is not something that I came up with a defense against. I figured mermaids seem to be...
A trident might...
The villain here.
A spinnerbait? I mean...
Okay, so this actually is a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I thought, okay, there's surely...
Mermaid, right?
Right. There's some lore, somebody's got it all figured out and I can just pass it along. Mermaids are strong.
They are strong, even if they're 80, 100, 200 years old.
Super strong. They don't have a lot of weaknesses. The only weakness that I could find that seemed to be not necessarily universal, but really common was a lower than average intelligence.
Okay.
So with that, and with the lack of an easy defense, I figured, okay, I'll come up with something based on the intelligence. So I figured my recommendation, you try to trick them into letting you go. Hey, I got a buddy. He's fatter than me. I'll go get him. We'll come back.
You like worms?
Right.
Here, have a worm.
Something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought if that didn't work, then you could go with the oxygen tank in the mouth and shoot it with a gun. I mean...
that myth's been busted, though.
Dude, I'm sorry. Jaws, one of the greatest documentaries ever made.
Yes, that's true.
And it shows, without fail, that if you shoot an oxygen tank with a rifle...
One bullet left.
In a shark's mouth, it's going to blow that thing to hell and back.
It's going to blow it up. And then, what was it, Jaws 2, where they blew it up again?
Obviously.
And then a baby survived. So, but, okay. To me, spinnerbait. The problem with picking up a mermaid once you've shot it, because you're going to want to because it's America.
You're going to want to show your friends.
You're going to want to take a picture of it and want your whole kids to hold on to it. Get your mom over and let's take a picture of it. It's probably going to, like when you pick up a perch, it's probably going to doo-doo on you or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. So, Reno, Nevada. Let's get into...
What to do there?
Reno. I mean, we're in the area.
Bury a body?
You could bury a body.
Now, I heard a wise man say that he once shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. So there's that.
That is definitely... But, I mean, let's be honest. We know for a fact there are at least a couple of things that you can do in Reno.
Yeah, it's Little Vegas, of course.
You can go to Reno to visit the Cursed Pyramid Lake.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to gamble. You can go for legalized prostitution.
You can.
These are all things that are common knowledge, so I say we...
Expound upon those, or no?
Well, I mean, do you want to... No, I say we just kind of leave those as they are.
I for one, I don't believe in prostitution. I think it's trashy. I think it's immoral. Those are someone's daughters. Half-naked women are disgusting. In that ungodly sense. I don't condone the gambling or the prostitution. So what else is there to do if I don't condone that?
Well, I mean, to touch back to the news story, we didn't really get into it, but the JewsNews.com story about the Pope and how creationism is really based on the Big Bang Theory and evolution.
Mm-hmm.
There was also a thing, I think, about prostitution being okay as long as you're in Reno, Nevada.
Oh.
From the Pope.
Okay, now I'm okay with it because of the Pope says.
Right.
If you're down with the Big Bang, that's all bangs, not just
right.
The Big Bang. It's any kind of bang.
I agree 100%. So
gangbang.
By papal decree,
I mean,
Big Bang and all other bangs are completely cool in the eyes of the Lord. Okay, so
You sanctimonious son of a bitch.
I know I'm going to hell.
Go ahead.
Reno is home to the largest free hot air balloon event in the world.
Is that correct?
The whole world.
See, I always thought Albuquerque because they have that balloon fest every October.
Yeah, but Reno's is free.
It's free. Oh,
And you'll notice.
How do you charge somebody to drive into the desert? I mean, isn't it kind of open air? How do you charge somebody for that?
Oh, you mean to go watch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree. I don't.
Anyway.
Okay, you win. You can spend an afternoon exploring volcanoes at the Lunar Crater Field, or if you're not down for that, you can spend an afternoon exploring the hieroglyphics at the Lago Maracino Canyon.
Oh, cool.
So, whole lot of interesting things. Did you find anything else that you wanted to discuss that you could do in Reno other than shoot a man to watch him die?
Well, I mean, engage in fornication, coitus.
We already covered that one.
When two people
No, we covered that one.
mutually like each other a lot.
And there's money involved. Yeah, we already covered that one.
And they want to get together.
Right, in exchange for dollars. We already got that. We already did that. We already covered that one. Did you have anything else?
I did, and I forgot what it was.
I hate you sometimes. You
No, I'll
understand
find
this, right?
I'll tell
Hey,
just-
what, I'm going to pause the show midstream?
No, I asked you earlier. I said, hey, top things to do in Nevada. You go, oh, no, I got a list. I got a list.
I specifically said I have a list. Print it out and see what you want to add
You have a
to it.
lisp as well.
All right, Brett. So what is
What's my contribution to this?
What is your contribution to the damn show?
Okay, well, I'll be honest. I was going to do top 10 things you probably didn't know about Reno, Nevada. And you said 10 is too beep and much.
Yeah, because we can't if I have 10 sentences, it takes us an hour and a half to get through
We
it.
agreed it was going to be a long show. We talked about that before.
Yeah, we're not done.
Okay, well, here. Okay, I'll do 5. Got to do 5?
5.
All right. Number 1. Washu, a chimp raised in Reno, holds the title of the first non-human to communicate through sign language. She learned 350 different signs, and she even taught her adopted son some sign language as well. She was raised like a child and had her own living space and even did chores and had playtime outside, much like a regular kid.
I wonder if that chimp could do a podcast because...
If we can do it, our cousin could do it. Am I suggesting evolution? Yes.
Okay.
And the Pope kind of is. We discussed that. But anyway, number 2, the Reno Ice Pavilion once lived in Atlantic City, New Jersey, before all 16,000 square feet of it was dismantled and moved to the Big Little City. That's also why it's nicknamed the Big Little City. Did you know that?
No.
Okay, you do now. Okay, now called the Olympic Ice Pavilion. It sits above Lake Tahoe in Squaw Valley. It's open year-round and based on environmentally friendly systems that both cools the ice and heats the surrounding pools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you just tell me to go. Just tell me to keep going. Number 3, a whopping 23 movies have been filmed in Reno since 1947. Some of the big names include The Misfits, Kingpin, Sister Act, The Muppets. Television isn't left out. Good Luck Charlie was filmed there. Even music videos by Kanye West and Eddie Money.
Eduardo De Niro.
Eduardo De Niro. There's such a parallel between Kanye and Eddie Money. Anyway, I'm sure it has something to do with the number 33. We just don't know it. Number 4, the direction you travel to get from L.A. to Reno is actually west. Doesn't make sense, does it?
One more time?
The direction you travel to get from L.A. to Reno is actually west.
Okay. Yeah, I can...
Los Angeles may be on the coast of California, but because of the L shape of the state, it actually lies farther east of Reno. So if you're heading back to Reno from L.A., you're going west.
That's weird.
That is weird. Number 5. This kind of goes into an oddity.
Well, the last one was a travel oddity.
It was a travel oddity.
Oddity.
In every sense. Number 5, the longest cat in the world lives in Reno.
The longest cat?
Stewie, who was a lengthy 48.5 inches long, just over 4 feet, in case you're not familiar with the new math.
Yeah, 48 inches. I'm familiar with that.
I'm sure you are, because you stood next to me in the urinal. Anyway, it lived in Reno its whole life until it passed away in 2013.
So it doesn't live there anymore. It's completely invalid. Why did you even bring that one up?
I just did. Okay, can I throw in one bonus? You let me have a bonus last time I did a top 5.
All right.
I'm going to go with the number 10. They have some pretty strange laws the residents have to deal with. Now, are you ready for this?
You are in love with the weird laws.
I am.
Okay.
Because I'm a law-abiding citizen. Laws like it being illegal to say a bad word in front of a dead body, or even how they aren't allowed to change the weather unless they have a state permit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
How do you... The dead body thing, okay, I get you need a permit to change the weather.
But saying bad words in front of a dead body,
but
you're not in?
You find a body that's been stuck in a storm drain for like
it's gotta
6
be
weeks.
Some spiritual thing.
And you walk up on it and you're not allowed to go, damn that stinks.
Damn. Yeah.
I'm not...
Did you also know, and this is probably illegal for so many reasons, because you'd probably fry like an egg, you can't lie down on a sidewalk.
That's just an anti-vagrant law.
Well, in New Mexico, you can't dance with a sombrero on. We talked about that last week.
That's
that's strange.
Anti-Cinco de Mayo.
So if you want to check out this list for your own personal entertainment, fun facts about Reno, check out the awesome list from Movado, which is who I got the list from last time. They've got some really interesting things, and they usually have a law in there somewhere. When you're ready to pack up and head out, check out the self-storage units at American to make the moving process easy and headache-free. They have units in all sizes and types.
Hold on.
Sure to meet your storage needs.
Hold on. Did you just drop a damn commercial into our show?
I did.
What the hell?
I read the prompter. I don't know when to stop.
Oh, my God. Dude, you're killing me.
American storage units.
All right. Place to eat if you're in Reno. Okay, for starters, wall-to-wall.
Casinos
There
everywhere.
are casinos. There's restaurants, free food out the wazoo.
Literally, when I was looking for a top 10, TripAdvisor, of 10 of their things they suggested, 7 of them involved a casino. I mean, that's the order of the day.
All right. I ran into a similar situation. I went out of my way to find something that wasn't in a casino. Because if you're going to Reno, chances are they're getting some of your money anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So
you're going to a buffet, probably.
So, again, I went out of my way to find somebody that wasn't affiliated with a casino at all.
Okay.
Found the 4th Street Bistro. Like 4.9 out of 5 stars.
How many reviews does it
Like
have?
a bajillion. Like
Really?
638 bajillion.
When you've lost all your money and you just want to get the hell out of a casino, you go to the 4th Street Bistro.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to say if you lost all your money, you're not going to the 4th Street Bistro.
Well, there's probably, if you lost all your money, there's probably some things that you would do for a sandwich.
Okay, well, you're not going to find a whole lot of sandwiches at the 4th Street Bistro. It is very misleading with its name. This place,
bougie.
Really. Okay. French restaurant.
Oh, man.
So, the cheapest price I saw on the menu was probably $15, and it was on the salad list.
So you're not licking your wounds at the 4th Street Bistro.
Okay, so I grabbed a couple of things off their menu just to share with the crowd. Cabernet braised Durham Ranch bison short ribs, shaved Brussels sprouts, pancetta and horseradish creme fraiche.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Creme fraiche.
Yeah. $32.
Dong. I mean, dang, not dong. Dang.
I also got the roast breast of O Liberty duck chipotle yams with braised placenta, kale, and spicy dulce.
Did you say placenta?
Lesson. I have no idea.
No, I was hoping I didn't hear you say Placenta.
Spicy dulce de leche, ancho chili sauce.
You ever had dulce de leche?
Yes.
Yummy. It's yummy.
Okay. You're doing that voice.
I'll stop it. Dude, stop. I'll stop.
There's been rules written.
There's a voice I can't do with you and a voice I'm not allowed to do with my wife.
You know, we're in the desert, in mining town, in Reno, Nevada. Mm-hmm. You could have thrown out a Yosemite Sam.
No, people go there to disappear. We're in Reno.
Okay, so 4th Street Bistro, it's on 4th Street. Link to their website's in the show notes. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, 5 p.m. until they're done.
So when you're headed to get a storage unit at American Storage.
Oh, geez, dude, would you quit?
Swing by the 4th Street Bistro.
Until whatever storage starts cutting us a check, they don't get none of that.
Something tells me it's not American.
Yeah, it's probably not.
Well, that's what it says, A-American.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say American? Just say an American storage unit, right?
Or you just say, I'm not a foreigner.
Listen, if you have to put American owned on the front, you're not American. Am I wrong?
Hey. Dude, you're a horrible racist, and I just sit here.
So I'm not good at being a racist. Or I'm horrible. I'm a horrible racist. Like you're horrible and you're racist.
Right.
Not necessarily like, dude, you need to grown up on being racist. If you're going to be racist, you're horrible at being racist.
Actually, I think there might be a combination there. I think you're a horrible person that's a racist, but you're also kind of bad at being a racist.
Yeah, I'm not. I kind of I bumped that line of being a racist.
Yeah.
Was your people here first? I didn't think so.
Oh, as a Native American with your tribal card and everything.
Yeah, and my tag.
I guess it's completely cool for you to be a racist. I didn't realize that. I mean, good on you, bro.
Native lives matter.
And none others. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, stop it. Here we go. Why do I feel like I'm having a debate with a
I just wanted to clarify your stance.
All lives matter. Because
but some matter more?
No. The ones that go to our casinos and pay my way through college matter.
All right. So that's enough out of you.
Okay. 7865 Oddity.
Right.
Also,
3 minutes.
American Storage Units.com.
Would you quit with that? So, Anthony, no, in all honesty, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We love the love that we see from you. We really appreciate it.
I want to be held by you.
Brett does want to be held by you. But also, check us out on our website, traveloddities.com.
Yes.
You can leave a note there.
Some revamps are coming.
There are
some logos that we're working on.
With a super secret future executive producer?
Yes. Very super secret. Also, we didn't shout out to Eric real quick. You know, he's been kind of dealing with being really busy, so Eric hasn't been with us. So
and he was possessed.
He was possessed.
He had a Dybbuk box. He opened it up.
There you go.
He had a whole lot of alcohol. He threw up into the Dybbuk box. Bad thing to do. Jewish curses.
What do you go to a Jewish news site and all of a sudden you're like an expert?
Dude, yeah.
On what?
Dybbuk boxes. So Eric is possessed, but he's coming back.
Go eat your lox and bagels, Harley. I'll finish this.
Lox and cream cheese, you mean, for my bagels?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And make sure you count the diamonds.
So check us out on Facebook, Travel Oddities Podcast.
We're also on Instagram.
What is it at Instagram? Travel Oddities Podcast.
Travel Oddities Podcast on Instagram.
How about Twitter?
We're on Twitter. I share an episode every week. You should come and check it out.
And it is Travel_Oddities.
Travel_Oddities at the Twitter.
All right, and I tell you what, if you give us a review on iTunes, Doesn't matter the number of stars, 1 through 5 you pick. You can permanently ban Brett from using any voice that you want.
But what if it's very important if I use the voice at the time?
No.
No.
Negatory.
But I
vote for that one.
I work in the diamonds. In stones.
Such a racist. All right, so that's been the Travel Oddities Podcast. Thanks for listening.
We're not here to chew you down, but whatever. Can we quickly do a shout out to the Project Archivist?
Seriously?
To Lobo in Rogan.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm done.
All right. So thanks for listening to the Travel Oddities Podcast. I'm Harley.
I'm Hyman.
Peace.
Peace.